Blocks are very useful, as we have seen. Now, we've looked at static blocks and attributed blocks. Sometimes the static blocks are just called blocks. Now, there's another type of block called a dynamic block. A dynamic block is extremely flexible and has intelligence built into it. Don't worry, they're not smart enough to take over the world, but they're very useful. Now, they can easily be changed to display different line work very quickly in a drawing. Now, they make it so that you can customize one block instance to fit different needs. For example, if you need a door that is 30 inches wide, you would have to make a block with a 30-inch wide door. Then say you also needed on the same project a door that's 32 inches wide. Well, you would have to create a second block and make it 2 inches longer. Now you have 2 blocks. Well, what if your client decides, I don't want that to be 32, I want it to be 30 again. Well, you can change that very quickly with a dynamic block. Your dynamic block can be designed to fit multiple needs, but with only one block. This keeps your block library smaller and more manageable. It also makes your blocks more useful since one block can fill many needs. Let's take a look at our annotation file. It has a few dynamic blocks in it. Go to the Model Space tab. Now, a dynamic block reference can easily be changed in a drawing while you work. You can manipulate the geometry through custom grips or custom properties. This allows you to adjust the block reference in place as necessary rather than searching for another block to insert or to redefine the existing one or to have to create brand new line work altogether. So let's look at the door at the bottom corner of this building that we see here. This door block is a dynamic block. You can see here that it has a lot of different fancy grips on it. These grips are typically customized when the block is created. Let's go over some of these. You'll notice that when you hover over the grip, it will give you a bit of a tooltip. It'll tell you what it's going to do. This sets the angle of the door opening. When I select it, I have different options. I can make the door closed. I can open it up 30 degrees, 90 degrees, 45, etc. Very useful. This grip right here sets the wall thickness. All I have to do is drag it up or down. You can see on the left, it changes from 4 inches to 5 inches to 6 inches, and the line work even changes. This button here aligns the block. It acts sort of like the standard move. This button here will set the direction of the swing. It opens in or it opens out. It's a toggle switch. This is very similar. This will move the door in or out. And then this grip here will change the width of the door. I can stretch it out to 3 foot 4 inches or all the way into a very tiny door of 2 feet wide. Just press escape to let go of that. All of these door block instances that you see here are the same block. It's very useful and helps in your design process. Now, the window block next to these doors over here is very similar. Now, it looks very simple. It looks like just 3 sets of lines. When I select it, I get similar grips to what I saw before. This will flip it back and forth from side to side. This changes the width. This relocates it to somewhere else. And this changes the width. This one is the thickness, depending on your wall. So you can see here, these blocks are very neat, very useful, and they can help out quite a bit. Now, AutoCAD comes with several dynamic blocks already made. If you open up your tool palette by pressing the Control key and the number 3 at the same time, you'll get access to a lot of them. This is the door and window dynamic block that's already in this file. Now, when you look at this tool palette, you can tell if a block is dynamic or not because it has that little lightning bolt in it. Here's an elevation view of a door. I'm going to insert it, select it, and here I can change the width, I can change the height, and I can flip it to the left or to the right. And here I can move it around. Very simple, but yet it adds a lot of different dynamic abilities to it. If I go from this architectural tab, I go to the mechanical tab, you can see here I have a lot of other shoulder screws and anchor rods and things like that. If I select this shoulder screw, I can change the length of it, I can change the size and the style. So you can see here, there are a lot of different types of screws that I have available to me in one block. Dynamic blocks are great to use, and they are a little bit more complicated to edit and create. If I select it, right click, go to the block editor, you can see here I have all of these different constraints set in my block. They control the input and the output that the user will have when they interact with the dynamic block. We don't have the time to go over these in this training video, but I wanted you to be aware of dynamic blocks and their usefulness.